Stuking. Good morning. This is the 28th day of June 2025. It's a Saturday service today. At least my plan is to answer the question, what does it take to get some inner peace? Reminds me of the Seinfeld episode where they were shouting, "Serenity now! Serenity now!" So our goal for today is to. Oh, I just realized something. There's an old joke about Unitarians, and you Unitarians will probably have heard this before. But the joke about Unitarians is Unitarians see a sign on the road that says "This way to heaven," and another sign that says "This way to a discussion on heaven."
Well, yeah.
And then there's a Jewish version of the joke. I told the joke so many times that I thought I should figure out what the Jewish version of the joke is. And the Jewish version of the joke is there's a sign that says "This way to heaven" or "This way to inner peace," and "This way to a discussion on heaven" or "This way to a discussion on inner peace." And the Jew looks at the sign and says, "Who put up those signs?" So we're going to have a discussion about inner peace, which I'm afraid is the discussion route. And really, we should be trying to cultivate our inner peace. Let me put all of you up on the screen so you can say, wave to the people on Facebook, wave to the people on LinkedIn. We're on LinkedIn now, too. Congratulations. And anybody watching this later on YouTube, thank you for watching.
And you wanted a reminder to apologize to the people on Facebook for last week.
Thank you, George. Thank you so much. Dear people on Facebook, I apologize. Last week, we were only able to put up a sign that said, "There's no streaming to Facebook this week." So I apologize. Lack of streaming last week. We can't get everything. Everything doesn't always happen at once. Let me begin by just taking a moment. Hi, Rebecca. Hi, Steve. Hi, Ruth. Hi, Emily and Jordan and Chad and Lisa and Ann and Karen. Hi. And hi, Lori and Greg and Alice and Maria and Carolyn and Dan and Candace. Candace, I give extra sympathy, who just lost a cat. And John and Meg and Alex and Jack and George and Bob and Harold and Connie. Glad to see, and hi, Ray. Glad to see all of you here. And it might take a little extra time for me to say everybody's name. It does take a little extra time for me to say everybody's name. But I thought, what else is there? What am I rushing to get to? Where are we going? The idea is for us all to be together and for us to learn from each other. So let me take a moment to welcome everybody by name. And let me thank Lori, our intern, who is driving right now. Hi, Lori. Lori ran the service last week, and thank you for doing that. Next week is the 5th of July. The week after that is the 12th of July. And the 12th of July, we are having a special celebration of Lori, who is graduating from being the Religion Outside the Box intern. And I'm going to ask all of you who are regular attendees, on the 12th, I'd like to hear from you something you learned from Lori. It can be either something she explicitly taught or something that you learned from the way of her being. And that will be our focus of the service on July 12th. It's going to be about Lori and our saying goodbye and saying thanks. And Lori's going to do the same thing. Okay. Today, I want to talk about inner peace. About what's keeping us from feeling peace. That's a deep question. That's a rough one to start with. Hi, Crystal. Hi, Christina. Glad to see you guys joining in. And just give me a off the cuff, if you got an off the cuff answer. Hi, Justin. Hi, Ann. Glad to see you guys joining in. What's keeping you from having inner peace right now?
All those assholes will keep bothering me.
That's a good answer. What's keeping us from inner peace?
If inner peace is a form of contentment, then it's discontent that interferes with inner peace.
Oh, John.
Yes. If I'm feeling discontent?
No. I wasn't referring to your I phrases at all. It's just that you just went to the opposite.
What is
Rather
causing
than-
us lack of inner peace is discontent. It might be the definition of lack of inner peace. But what else?
Yeah.
What is causing? What is at the root? What causes? What's the prime mover? What is the thing that caused the thing to do the thing that caused us to have a lack of inner peace?
For me, it's not feeling enough. Not feeling like I'm enough.
If we felt like we were enough, would we feel more peace? I think so.
Yes. Yes.
If we could only feel like we were enough, we would have more inner peace.
Ruth
Yes,
had her
sir.
hand up.
Okay, hold on one sec. Thank you, Emily. Thank you, Ruth. If we had more feeling of enoughness, we would feel inner peace. That might also go the opposite, the other way, is that if we have inner peace, we might feel enough. Is one causing the other? I'm going to stick with that the lack of feeling enough is causing a lack of inner peace, where it might not be the opposite. Let me go with Ruth and then Jack.
Fear, Rabbi.
Fear. That's
Right.
What is causing us a lack of inner peace? Fear. Jack, go ahead. Thank you, Ruth.
I'd say a lot has to do with lacking the love that is real for you.
Say that again, Jack. I lost the middle words.
Lacking the love that is real for you, for oneself.
Lacking the love. I want to get your words right. The love. You said some words after that. Lacking the love.
That for you is real.
If we only had more love that we felt was real, we would have more peace. That feels about right. I see some nods going on. Dan, what do you have to add for us?
Well, I'm no great student of Buddhism, but I think they would say attachment, attachment to expectations, results, whatever.
Yeah.
And I think there's something to that.
What's keeping us from inner peace is attachment. Yeah. If we were looser, we wouldn't be as thrown off, because I know the way the dishwasher's supposed to be loaded. And the answer is by children in my house in a neat and orderly manner, with the spoons not facing up on the little rack, because then it collects water. There's a way to do the dishwasher, and my attachment to how I think it should be is causing me a lack of inner peace. Okay.
Steve's got his hand up.
Go ahead, Steve.
The problem with the spoons is that you end up handling them with your dirty hands as you put them away. So they have to be handling by the handles. My issue is I have a voraciously hungry ego.
What is causing us a lack of inner peace is a voraciously hungry ego. What is the voraciously hungry? I think a voraciously hungry ego. I can see that leading to attachment. I know how things should be. My voraciously hungry ego knows how things should be.
And knows that you're right.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, is that one? And then I'll get to you, Wendy. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. I think we just got one. Being right. The yellow's not going to work very well. Can you see that?
Oh. Yeah, we can see it.
Being right. My sense that I am right, related to my voraciously hungry ego, is causing me to not have peace. Wendy, what do you got?
There we go. Not getting your needs met. And it's not wants, it's not getting your needs met.
Okay. Lack of love that for you is real, and lack of needs met. Chad, Lisa, what do you say?
A long to-do list. Yeah, too much to do. You can't find inner peace because you're constantly trying to get things done.
Yeah. How am I ever going to have inner peace when I have all this shit that needs to get done?
I find a lack of inner peace when something's unsettled.
Lack of inner peace from something's unsettled. So lack of certainty? Would that be?
No.
No. Give me a better word.
If you have some sort of conflict with somebody, and I should thank you, John. I'll put it in the I statements. When I have a conflict with somebody, I don't have inner peace until it's settled.
Until the conflict with another person is settled, you don't have inner peace.
Resolved? Resolved, you mean?
Resolved, yeah.
So it's a lack.
I don't want the word lack there. I want conflict unsettled. Please. Okay, unsettled conflict. Yeah.
And you were not happy with what I wrote until it got settled.
That's correct. And now I have inner peace. Thank you so much.
Shame has a half-life that is longer than I wish it were. Shame has a. I'll get to you in a second, Greg. I'll get you in a sec. Shame has a really long half-life. What's the longest you've ever had inner peace? Without drugs or sleeping? Like how long is a full serving of inner peace? Is it 12 seconds? Anyone get more or less than 12 seconds?
Yeah, I've had more.
More.
We've had more. Have we also had less? We've had less. Let me take Greg's comment.
I guess at times.
Greg and then Bob. Go ahead, Greg.
I would not have peace if I have great expectations to meet.
Yeah, I think that goes in with attachment. If I could lax off on the dishwasher and not have the expectations that I have, I would have better peace. Okay, for those of you who have been with us a long time and those of you who are new, the dishwasher, it's not actually about the dishwasher. It's It's just what I talk about.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, it's a little bit about the dishwasher as well.
Yeah, just a little bit.
It's just, if we could have no, and then I'll get to you, Christina. Hold on a second. If we had no expectations and no attachments, we would have inner peace, but we would then have what problem? If we had no expectations and no attachments, we could have inner peace, but what would be the problem with that? Or is there
We'd
not
be
a
in a
problem?
coma.
If there's no problem with it, hey, I think we found a path.
I'd say arguably apathy.
If we didn't have attachments and expectations, it would be apathy. It's not living. Go ahead, Christina.
Hi, everybody. I'm thinking that peace is a mindset that you can choose. And it depends on how you regard things. I mean, you can choose to see what is bad and you can choose to see what is good.
So it's a choice?
Mm-hmm.
It's a great question. I think the answer's got to be yes. John and then Ray.
The previous point that you made was getting close to, it seems to me that this lack of inner peace is at its root a dissatisfaction with being a human being. All the stuff that we've described are conditions of being human.
So
inner peace means we can accept those things as being inevitable parts of life without undue dwelling on them. Acknowledge that they are bugs that come and go, but it's all part of who we are. Just by being, at least for me,
is dissatisfaction.
I have to look at myself and say, I can be peaceful with, yes, I can get annoyed, but then I can come back and come out of that fairly quickly and just say, yeah, that's part of the human condition.
Go ahead, Ray. Thank you, John.
Well, I was thinking very much the same way as John. Because if you have boy, I can't even think. My mind went blank. If you have inner contentment,
right?
If you are actually happy with yourself, who you are, the other stuff just comes and goes, but it doesn't make any great ripples in your life. And if you've got all this, I have to do this, I have to do that, you know, all this stuff going on in your mind or in your psyche, are you ever going to be content? Are you ever truly going to be at peace?
Okay, and I want to hear from Steve, but the question I want to ask then is how? How do we get there? How do we get ourselves to have fewer expectations? How do we get ourselves to have more contentment? Steve, go ahead.
Yeah, you asked the question, if you give up attachments and expectations, what do you lack? And it gave me another clue to what source of discontent is, which is you give up control. And so a need for control leads to the discontent. And if I can give up the need for control, I can have the acceptance that the Buddhists are talking about.
Can we? Show of hands, who wants to give up control?
Like to, but
give up
nope.
control. I think the answer to can we give up control is yes. Can we? Yeah, it's possible.
Will we?
Will we? Will it come easily? Is this something we can just flip a switch? Probably not. I'm going to add a word at the start of that. How can we give up control? I have an answer to that too. Yay, me. How can we give up control? I'll get to you in a sec, Jack. There's this great phrase from Shanti Deva, who's the first person I know who said this, which is, there is nothing that does not become lighter through habit and familiarity. I'll say it again because it's a deep one. There is nothing that does not become lighter through habit and familiarity. The more you do something, the better you get at it. The more you're an asshole to people, the better an asshole you're going to be. The more you practice giving up control, the better you're going to be at it. Jack, you had your hand up, and then Bob.
Yeah, mine is just reducing evaluation of everything.
Oh, I love that.
Because ego, to me, ego and evaluation are synonymous.
Give up judgment and end your problems. I believe that's a Lao Tzu quote.
Yeah, blame and justifying it after it's all over with.
So is what we're fighting with ego? Is our ego keeping us from inner peace?
Yes.
That would be kind of weird. Is that weird? I think that's weird. Why would my ego be keeping me from inner peace? Oh, because if I didn't have an opinion, how important am I? I think that's almost Descartes. I have an opinion, therefore I am.
Yeah.
I don't
Maria,
think
go ahead.
I don't think that goes with what Meg was saying about when something isn't settled or resolved, that's directly related back to ego.
I think, Maria, I think that it is.
Okay.
Explain.
I have to give an example to explain. I recently received what I considered a nasty note from my sister-in-law. And I wanted to reply in an email pointing out the error of her ways. I had two friends talk me out of doing that. And so I was able to send an email thanking her for a generous gift, even though it had this other crap attached. And to me, that has to do with my ego. I want her to know that she is wrong in what she said, and I am right. Well, I may be right. I still think I'm right. But the thing that came to me was, once I sent the email saying, I thank you for such and such, and the whole thing left.
Yeah,
it was resolved. Beautiful. And I'm still aware of it. I still have the note here in front of me. I will destroy it later today. But my ego was there.
Yeah.
Don't tell me what I can do and what I can't do, which is what she did.
I'm gonna bring us along. I have two thoughts. One, there's a great phrase in the beginning of wisdom literature, which is at the beginning of the Mishnah, which is the start of the Talmud, Jewish books from dated to around the year 200. And the wisdom, there's a bunch of wisdom quotes, and there's one that says, "Who is rich?" And the answer is anyone who's content with what they have. I think inner peace goes with wealth and richness. Who has inner peace? Whosoever is content with what they have. And the second thought I have looks like this. Some of you are new around these parts. You might not have seen this. I'm not going to go into very deep explanation of how this little chart works. Some of you have been here for a while. You've seen me make this chart before. Here are positives. Here are negatives. Here's change. And here's not change. I should point out, if you haven't been here before and you have any questions at all during the service, look for anyone in the participants who's listed as a host. If you just have a question you want to ask, or there's something you don't understand how this format works, you're welcome to just interrupt and ask me. But if you have anything you want to say privately, anybody who's marked as a co-host, they're here to help. Okay, so this is Eli Goldrat's change matrix, and he says for everything there's change, there's a benefit to change, that's this box here, and for anything there's a negative to change. Similarly, there's a negative to keeping things the way they are, and there's a positive to keeping things the way they are. Help me with the words here. Giving up control. Is there a better phrase to take all of the things that we've said keep us from inner peace? Give me the best I can come up with is giving up control. That if we gave up control, we would have more inner peace.
Does attachment cover it more?
Okay, I don't know.
I don't know.
You have both those words.
Just attachment. What is the...
I would also put in there giving up anger.
Give up control.
Well, that's control.
Well, that is inner peace is if we gave up anger, I think.
Yeah.
Giving up control is adaptability or flexibility.
I like that word. Who's talking? I don't even know who that was.
George.
Thanks, George. So adaptability. Inner peace comes with adaptability. Wait, we might have just solved the whole nutshell right there.
Another word for adaptability is acceptance too.
Inner peace comes from being able to adapt. The better we're able to adapt, the more peace we have. That seems too easy. Somebody poke a hole in that quickly.
Well, it's hard to adapt sometimes.
It's not easy.
It is.
So that, I think, goes here. If we change, the problem with change is it is difficult. It is uncomfortable.
So you get inner peace by accepting change.
So you get inner peace by accepting change.
That's a question.
I think it's a statement too. We get inner peace by accepting change. The more I hold on to how I think things should be, the less peace I have.
Yeah.
And the more
I also think that that when you not only accept change, but realize that it's perhaps the better thing all in all, not just accept it. Well, that's the way it's going to be, but perhaps this is a door that I can go through that will make my life better.
It will make my life better if I let go more. It will let my life better if I adapt more.
Yeah.
Okay, what do we? So the only downside we have to that is it's uncomfortable and it's difficult. Help me out with the mermaid down here. What is the benefit? Oh, I think I have an idea. What are the benefits of not adapting? What are the benefits of not giving up control?
Comfortable status quo.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, Crystal.
I think that it's also, especially people that come from trauma, it's a way to protect yourself. And so if you have control, you're protecting yourself, and we know that can go so too far. And so if I don't change, I'm able to still protect myself because that's a safe space. I know that place. If I let go of that control, then I'm in this Wild West that's just is too much, too overwhelming. And I have to retreat back to control.
So if I control it, it gives me it protects myself. I'm gonna play with that for a second. If I protect myself, it's my ego. What else is self? It's ego.
Mm-hmm.
So am I willing to give up ego? I learned a thing. I don't know if I've shared that. I heard it from a marriage counselor. It was a podcast, and the one member of the married couple was telling a story, and the other one said, no, it wasn't a Tuesday, it was a Thursday. And the marriage counselor said, if 70% of the facts that your partner said are right, just let it go. Inner peace can come from letting it go. I asked my niece, my middlemost niece, this was at her bat mitzvah. I said, would you rather be happy or would you rather be right? And my dear niece said, I would rather be right because then I'm happy. I think we're being asked the same question here. Would we rather be happy? Would we rather have this peace? Or would we rather have our ego? Would we rather be right?
I'd rather my heart talk rather than my mind.
Yes.
My heart and my mind are listening, Jack. Okay, I have a story that I'm going to tell, but before I tell the story, I want to see if there's any other pieces here. Okay, let me tell you a story. This is a story I actually was telling Meg yesterday. I talked with Meg, and I was telling Meg about the vacation that we were just on, and that you guys all know that I crochet. And Jane, we went to, there's a place in Sisters, Oregon called the Stitching Post. Not the hitching post, the Stitching Post, because Sisters, Oregon has a quilt fair, and of course they have a store called the Stitching Post because of that. And I went into the stitching post and I bought some beautiful yarn. I don't know where it is. Oh, here it is. I bought this beautiful yarn that I'm making into a hat. And they have these little kits. I can't remember what the word is, but it's a related word to origami or kirigami. And it's like crochet-agami, but it's not. And it's this very simple way of crocheting. And you can make a little chicken figurine. And I bought Jane this little thing. She loves little chickens. So, and she wanted to learn how to crochet. And it says this is for beginners. They're easy and it has good reviews. So buy the $34 little chicken origami crochet thing. And I say to Meg, Jane didn't finish it. Like, she got all the way there. We're on the last 2 days. She is just to put the wings on, and she doesn't put the frickin' wings on it. And why is she not finishing this darn project? And Meg said something to cut me down to size, which was, whose problem is that?
Amen.
Okay.
Thank you, Ruth. Whose problem is it that she doesn't finish the crocheted chicken? I'm all in a tizzy about it. I'm upset about it. She's not. Whose problem is it? I could say to Jane, you not finishing that chicken project is really pissing me off.
If you want inner peace, you need to give up that control, however.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She's not doing anything. Literally. She's not finishing the dumb chicken. And it's pissing me off, but it's not her job to not piss me off. It's not her job to fix the thing that's aggravating me. That's my problem, not hers.
Yeah, and you gave this to her as a gift. It is no longer yours. When you give something away, it's no longer yours.
Yeah, yes. Can we all, if any of you talk to Jane, let me tell her that we had this discussion before you tell her. I think it might go down a little easier. So I want you to think of, that was our first entry. What's keeping us from inner peace is those assholes. I wouldn't go so far as Jane not finishing a crochet project of saying she's an asshole.
What about the person that's upset that she didn't finish the crochet piece?
That's me.
Oh, right. And I would never call you an asshole.
You might
Out
have,
loud.
actually, but that's okay. Okay. Can you think of a thing in your life that's similar to me and Jane and the crocheted chicken? The not yet finished crocheted chicken. A thing that you are disturbed by that's really not, it's as Ray said, you gave a gift, it's not yours anymore. Right. Can you think of an example of a thing that it's annoying you, but that's, whose problem is it? That's your problem. I think we all do this.
Oh, yeah.
It's shoulds and oughts and you need tos.
Shoulds and oughts and you need tos, and this person should have.
Yeah. Yeah. People often tell me, Emily, you should do this. My daughter-in-law this morning, I was complaining the other day that we didn't have the nice strawberries here like we have in Western Washington. And what I got back was, Emily, you should go down to so-and-so's house and see the strawberries she has. Um,
I lost the thread a little bit there, Emily. I apologize. Is there a thing? Go ahead.
Her daughter-in-law was telling her what she should do in reference to something she was just talking about.
yeah, like Jane should finish this chicken thing.
Yeah. Well, she should.
Rabbi, you don't understand quilters and knitters and crocheters.
Yeah, I have like 50 projects that are unfinished.
Thank you, Robin. Thank you.
I've used the line before. It's never a good idea to shoot on yourself or to shoot on other people.
Yes, I was going to say that exactly.
Could we extend that to say, and then I'll get right to you, Dan. Could we extend that to say that we should on other people?
Yeah.
Jane should finish that project to make me comfortable.
Exactly.
No. She should finish it because she wishes to finish it. Period.
It's not going to happen, Ray. I know her.
Well,
I know her works. She's got big eyes and she's got great hopes. And I got bins of crafts that were started and abandoned. And it all annoys me. And whose problem is that? Is mine. If she only would blank, 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 blank. I think that's what you're saying about the shoulds. If she only would blank, 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 I wouldn't suffer. But really, this is my choice. Go ahead, Dan.
So I'm just going back to the overall topic, and it reminded me of something that was said at West Hill 2 weeks ago. And somebody that was there, correct me if I'm quoting this wrong. I think it was Scott. He was talking about the Serenity Prayer, and a line from it, the non-theist version anyways, is often, may I have the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Okay, and that's, to me, directly related to the inner peace thing. But he said, no, a better version of that is, may I have the serenity to accept that it's unacceptable, the things I cannot change. Did I get that right, Karen or John or Emily?
Say that one more time. I think it made great sense, but I wouldn't be able to repeat it, and I liked it. So
may I
have the serenity to accept the unacceptable things?
To accept that it is unacceptable, that there are things that I cannot change, or that there are unacceptable things I cannot change. I think maybe that's a better version.
The serenity to accept that it is unacceptable. Yeah, that's exactly it. It is unacceptable that
yeah.
But of course it's acceptable. Thank you, Dan, and please pass the thanks along to Wesley. Go ahead, Bob.
I think there's a difference between saying you should do this and I would like you to do this.
Oh, I could say to Jane, I would like you to finish it, but I know how she's going to respond to that.
That's all right. Doesn't make any difference. You're just giving her the message in a different way. You would like her, not that she is required to.
Right. I would like you to finish this project. I play chess a bit, and I can do a few moves ahead and see where that's leading. I'm not going to try that. I'm going to get my ass kicked.
Well, a question that came to my mind is, all these projects that aren't getting finished, who buys them?
Who cares?
Do you buy them for her?
This one I did. And I bought her. Yeah, but see, now I'm going to sound like I'm keeping track of all this shit, which I am. But I don't want it to sound like I am.
Okay. Here's where I'm going with that. You keep buying these things that you think which she would like, and she works on them while she quits.
Yeah.
You know she's going to do that.
I do know
You
that.
know it's going to irritate you.
Yeah, but
How much are you into being irritated? How good does that taste?
I think I'm just gonna. It's like my neighbor who he told me quitting cigarettes is easy. He's done it hundreds of times. I have this. I think she's going to. This is again. This is all my problem. This has nothing to do with Jane. There's nothing to do with her. I'm bringing this on myself.
Why do you care?
Except where do you store all the projects?
Say it again, Harold, and then there was the comment right that came in at the same time. Go ahead, Harold.
It's only partly your problem because I have the same problem, and I've got stuff stacked that is unfinished from you know who in all the corners and everywhere in the house, and I'm running out of storage space for unfinished projects.
Right. And I would never say to Connie, whose problem is that?
No, I wouldn't either.
There was another voice that started to peek in.
I said, why do you care?
Why do I care?
Yeah, why do you care?
That's the question.
I don't know the answer to that. I
know. Because here's why I brought up the point. I do the same thing, and I used to use it as an internal shame kick my ass thing. And now I'm like, why do I really care? I had the initiative to go get something. I enjoyed it for a half an hour. Did I finish it? No, but I had a great half hour and I enjoyed the motivation to go get it. And I had fun getting it, had fun bringing it home. I had fun getting it out. That I didn't finish it?
I think, again, the problem, what's keeping me from inner peace is my idea of how things should be. It's my ego. My ego is in the way. For me. For you, it's your ego. It's your wanting to be right. It's your non-adaptability. Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Rebecca.
You know, I love the Buddhist directions of not getting caught in attachment or aversion, you know, trying to avoid something. Through practice, I am living a life of peace, but I ask myself, is it all right to be totally peaceful when in the world there is so much suffering and violence? I am very upset about Ukraine and Gaza. I wanted to put that out there.
That's a very Buddhist attitude.
Yeah.
There's a Buddhist phrase that says joyful participation in the suffering of the world.
Yes, the bodhisattva.
Not easy to do.
Yeah.
I think the Serenity Prayer hits pretty well for this as well. John, you have your hand up. What do you got, buddy?
I find myself
Go ahead.
Find myself wondering how much of the finished, unfinished stuff defines an aspect of your relationship with Jane.
Oh, we can save that for marriage counseling.
Not marriage counseling, it's an observation.
How much of her not finishing things is ask it again, because then I'm lost.
Okay, it's kind of like the kids they know which buttons to push to get you going on certain things. Jane knows which buttons to push.
But she's not pushing any buttons.
It's not.
It's me. I'm the one. I'm the problem here. Not her. She's not stopping it just to get my goat.
No.
Although I do think that.
She's not.
She's not. I know she's not.
No.
The problem's with me. So I guess the answer is, what's keeping me from inner peace? I can answer the question. Me. 50 minutes later, we have an answer to the question. What's keeping us from inner peace? Us. That being said, let me give a charge. What can you do in the next? What can you do to help you have more inner peace? And this is where that beginning part about the signposts comes in. We just had a lovely discussion about what keeps us from inner peace. I'd like us in turn and go this route towards how let's get more inner peace. Let's not talk about it anymore. We can talk about it more if that helps. But what's one thing you can give up on? What's one thing you can lessen your, this is how it has to be? And do that. And then let's check in next week and see how it went. Let's do a quick, Maria, you have some prayers and thoughts for us today?
These are the people to whom we are sending light and love. Bill and Karen, Gwen, Alex, Barry in Spirit and Diana, Hugh D., Janet R., Horatio Mayer, Sheridan H., Arlene Hill, Ebony, Beth Carney, Sally, Alex C. and Bella, Rita S., Maria A. of blessed memory, Joan B., Nicole Shapiro, people living in the Middle East, the Shinwari family, Eileen DeToma, the Renner family, Michael H. and all caregivers, Dennis and Carol, all people who love their pets, and all those seeking inner peace. If there is another person in our community to whom we can offer light and love, please put their name in the chat, and I will add them to the list on Facebook. And for the people who aren't named, but who are in our thoughts, we send them light and love as well.
Let's take a minute of time. If there are any of those names that Maria mentioned that are people you know who you sending a text message or sending an email or making a phone call to would help them get through what they're getting through, please do that. If you're not yet on the Religion Outside the Box contact list, Maria, if you can make sure to post, if you have that available, or some other co-host to please post that. Thank you, Maria. Post that into the chat. You can get the phone. If you're willing to exchange your phone number and contact information, we'll put you on the list so you can have other people's contact information. Okay, that all being said, I will go ahead, Joe, and then I'm going to wrap us up.
Well, I don't recommend this as a cure, because I don't like it, but it happened. When Ken died, my perspective got a big kick in the everything. And so, like, there are things that used to make me crazy that compared to that, like, nope, Let's compare it to that. Nope. Let's compare it to that. Nope. So I do not recommend my path, but if you have a path that has bad or traumatic or difficult stuff in it, well, then use that to decide what's important and what's not.
Thank you, Joe.
Amen.
Amen.
If I had the ability to time jump, I would write out a proper benediction or sending off prayer that I would deliver right now based on what we talked about. But as I didn't have what we talked about until now, I don't have the ability to say what I want to say with as beautiful language. But let me say it this way. May we all find more inner peace by quieting our egos, lessening our attachment, and opening ourselves to more love. Oh, wasn't that bad?
No, it was lovely.
Folks, thank you for showing up. This is experimental religion. I love doing this. I love doing this with you. We'll be back again next week. I'm going to turn off the recording